And some great onboard views for you today, including Brad Keselowski with our Ford EcoBoost camera, Danica Patrick with our GoDaddy on board, Flip Boyer, the 5-hour energy camera, Greg Biffle, the Coke on board, Kyle Busch, the Toyota on board, Matt Kenseth, the Fresh from Florida camera, Jeff Gordon, the Sprint on board, Ryan Newman, the Outback on board, and Jimmy Johnson has our Chevy on board. So those are the views. And here's the start. Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski on the front row are green at Texas. Edwards, Johnson, first and second. Keselowski still fighting in that outside lane with Kyle Busch to his inside. Two-car slides from second back to fifth. Here's the race for seventh. 17, Ricky Stenhouse. 27, Paul Menard.
Yeah, like these young men, like this racetrack a lot. Expect to see good things from him throughout this day into the evening.
First couple laps, I know it's early, just first couple laps, but any indication that outside lane doesn't quite have the speed in it right now.
But not yet, and I think a lot of that has to do with fresher tires. You can run hard down on the bottom. You have enough grip there. It's going to be after they run 7, 8, 10 laps that you will start seeing them move up some. I think Brad Keselowski was just kind of testing that. He wanted to take that opportunity, being in that position, to see what he might do later on fresh tires.
Yeah, cars are incredibly fast his first few laps. 28 flat, the fastest lap by Carl Edwards. And that's just not really conducive to seeing that second lane come in. I do believe we're going to see it definitely come by midway or even sooner.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see, middle and the very top of this throughout the entire evening, but it'll just take a little bit of time because once these tires start falling off, which they have seen in practice, they do very quickly.
And just perspective, Bart, those numbers, Andy, that 28 flat is 192 mile-an-hour average speed.
Yeah, that's actually surprising that they're that fast. They weren't even that fast in practice in happy hour, but the track's a little cooler. We got a little overcast right now, so it has a lot of grip.
You have to be careful as a driver, though, with all of that grip and everything you got going right. You've already pointed out that there is the potential of tire issues with the amount of wear that they're seeing. All of that grip. If you're running that kind of speed, that just means that you're abusing the tires a little bit more. You're going to go that fast right now. You're going to have a bigger fall off in the end of a run.
One thing is, too, they cleaned this racetrack before the event with the jet blowers. They've blown it off, all the dust and all the rubber, the loose rubber that's in the little cracks and places in the racetrack, and that does add to the tire wear, especially this first run. I'm sure the teams are going to be nervous until they get these tires off for the first time. So look at it.
What a huge win last Sunday in Martinsville for Jeff Gordon. Vaulting him up to third in the championship, broke the season-long dry spell. His last win prior to that was the last race of the 2012 campaign. There's a lot of confidence in that driver and that group coming into this race.
There is, and well, there should be. But the one thing I will say, he needs a better race this weekend if that's possible to keep himself in the championship mix. The one thing that he absolutely has to do here before this evening is over, and that's finish ahead of the 48 and 20. They've not saying he has to win, but he has to be ahead of them if he's going to have any chance in the last two.
And, of course, Jimmy Johnson, 48, and Matt Kenseth, 20. Tied for the lead in the championship. Starting today, Matt holding the tiebreaker by having more wins. And with a championship that close, those bonus points for leading a lap and leading the most laps in the race become even more critical. You heard Jimmy Johnson say during NASCAR Countdown that it was point for point between he and Matt Kenseth for the rest of the season, the way he was approaching it. So how hard will these guys press? Again, knowing that the tire wear and so on is a concern to get up front and lead laps.
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy's pushing pretty hard right now. wants to get that lead. But I'm with you, Alan. I think it does come with like a double-edged sword because they don't want to have a problem. That's what can take them out of this championship is some kind of a tire issue, and pushing it too hard at this stage of the race can cause that.
Brother, new leader, 48.
So Jimmy Johnson, when he